सर्वं ब्रह्ममयं सर्वं ब्रह्ममयं
Hello, good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Yeah. Audio is clear?
Good morning. Yes. Audio is clear. Very much.
Okay. We'll start. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Gurur Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Sarvasamshayacchettaram Sachidananda Vigraham Sada Susmera Vadanam Balakrishnam Namamyaham Vidyaranyadvaidyat Vyadheriva Bhavasya Hi Vinutyai Pathyanyaswadyantam Panchadasi Prakaranani Bhakshyani. Om. Good morning and namaskaram to all. So we have been discussing Panchadasi, first chapter, Thatwa Viveka Prakaranam or Pratyak Thatwa Viveka Prakaranam. We have completed up to verse number 9. From 10 we have to start. So what Vidyaranya Swami so far said is that he said first he started with consciousness, and this consciousness which is called Samvit, which is same and one during our own experiences of deep sleep, dream state and the waking experience. So the Samvit, the base reality, is constant and one at the same throughout the experiences, and that consciousness is present in a day, and then the same consciousness is present during our waking state, our dream and our deep sleep in a day, and the same is true in the months and years and yugam and kalpas also. The consciousness remains and ever present, right? It is na jayate na mriyate va kadachit, we saw in Bhagavad Gita. So that is never born, that never dies. That Samvit, that consciousness, from that consciousness Vidyaranya Swami concluded that the same consciousness exists and its existence is permanent, right? So the consciousness is existence, and the consciousness existence principle is also Ananda. That also Vidyaranya Swami proved, that everyone loves the self the most, right? We saw that we love ourselves unconditionally, whereas we love all the objects of the world conditionally. What is the condition? The condition is that that object should give ananda, that should give happiness to me. So the happiness, the ultimate happiness, the unconditional happiness is given by the self. Because of that reason, whatever gives us happiness, we love the most. So we love Atma the most because the only reason that we love Atma is because Atma gives unconditional happiness. Till then, Vidyaranya Swami proved till the verse 9. 10th verse, we will see. Itham Satchit Paranandaha Atma Yuktyam Tatha Vidham Param Brahmatayoschaikyam Shrutyandeshu Padishyate. Itham Satchit Paranandaha Atma Yuktyam Tatha Vidham Param Brahmatayoschaikyam Shrutyandeshu Padishyate. Itham yuktya, like above explained with yukti, with yukti means with proper logic is explained. Atma, this samvit is Satchit Paranandaha, that is Sat Chit Anandam, it is the existence, consciousness, bliss. Tatha Vidam Parabrahma. So with yukti, Vidyaranya Swami proved that this Atma is existence, consciousness and bliss. Tatha Vidam. Similarly, this Param Brahma, this Parabrahmam or Brahmam also is Satchidananda. Tayohocha, right? Aikyam, that is the oneness between the self which is proved by yukti, that it is Ananda, and the Brahman also is Ananda. Shrutyanteshu means in Upanishads, Vedanta, in Vedanta Upadishyate, is proclaimed in Vedanta that this self which is Satchidananda is same as the Brahman. Right? Similarly, Brahman also is same by Shruti. What Shruti? All Shrutis mean Upanishads. Chandogya says Tattvamasi. Tat Tvamasi. You are that. Right? Aham Brahmasmi. Right? In the Aham Brahmasmi, Yajurveda says Aham Brahmasmi. I am that Brahman. I am Atma Brahma. All of this that we see here is Atma alone. I am Atma Brahma. And Aitareya Upanishad says Prajnanam Brahma. That Prajnanam, that Samvit which we explained is Brahman. Okay, like that the Shruti has explained it that this Atma is same as Brahman. Satchidananda Swarupam is Atma Swarupam as described in the Upanishads also. Now, let us continue. 11th verse. Abhane na param prema bhane na vishaye spruha ato bhane pyabhatasau paramanandadatmanaha. Abhane means if this supreme bliss, this Ananda, if this supreme bliss is not known, say I assume that this Ananda is not known, is not experienced, assume Abhane Sati, Param Premana, the highest love for it is not possible. Right? We proud that we love anything that gives us Ananda. Suppose this Ananda is not experienced, right, is not felt, is not known, Ananda is not known, then Param Premana, then highest love is not possible. Bhane sati, if the supreme bliss is known, that is the highest bliss, unconditional love, unconditional happiness is known, if it is known from which is the highest love, highest ananda is coming from self, right? From the self is the highest ananda, which is unconditional love. We already saw that. That unconditional love that is we are getting from the self, if it is known, then Vishayena Spruha. Then why would someone go after the objects of this world for happiness? Right? This is the doubt. This is the question. What is the question? Abhane sati, if the supreme bliss, if the Paramananda is unknown, then the love for the self is not possible. Right? But we see that we love the self the most. We are experiencing it. But if the supreme bliss is known, okay, if it is known, then Vishayena Spruha, then one should not be running after the objects of the world for the happiness. But we see that this is happening. We all go after the objects for our happiness, and we love them conditionally. At the same time, we love self also. And both are known to us. The love for the self is known, but still we run after the objects. How is it possible? Ataha, because of that, bhane api, when the supreme happiness is known, or the Atmananda or Paramananda is known, asau abhata, this Atma, Kudastha, is not known. Atmanaha Paramanandada. The Atma is of blissful nature, right? The Atma is blissful nature, that is, it is the Paramananda, it is ultimate Ananda. Asau abhata, this is not known even when it is known. That is what. So the first proved, Vidyaranya Swami proved that Jivatma is Ananda, and Shruti said Paramatma is also Ananda, Satchidananda. That is, both are one at the same. But why do we have problems in life then? Right? We should not have been experiencing any problems. So there is some problem. We know this only partially. The knowledge that I am that Brahman, okay, the self is Brahman, and which is the Paramananda, is partially known. Sometimes we know, sometimes we don't know. Right? We know Sampurna Kumbho Nakarodi Shabdam. There is a Subhashitam is there. If the knowledge is full, then it doesn't make any noise. Ardho Gado Gosham Upaidi Nityam. If it is half full, it always makes noise. Right? Gada means a pot. If the pot is full, there won't be any noise. And if the pot is totally empty also, there won't be any noise. Noise comes when it is half full. Right? So this Atma, even when sometimes we experience it, even sometimes it is known, sometimes it is known. And because of that reason, everyone is running after the objects of this world. Why do everyone run after the objects? Vishayaha. Vishaya Spruha. Why we are desiring objects for our happiness? When to acquire things, you have to do karma. And doing a karma itself is difficult. And then when the phalam is coming, that time also it doesn't last long. That also gives us dukkham. So acquiring things, also there is karma and there is difficulty. But still we all run after the objects of this world and do karma and acquire things and get into this trouble. Right? Why is it so? And sometimes we know that, because we know that the self is the most important thing in life, we know that unconditionally we love Atma. Sometimes it is known, sometimes it is not known. Okay, so why is it happening? Next sloka gives examples. So it is not that it is not uncommon. It is very common that even when we know that Atma is Ananda, right? We run after the objects of this world. It is not uncommon. There are many experiences in real life which will prove. Let us see what Vidyaranya Swami says. Example, we will go to the 12th sloka. Adhyetr varga madhyastha putradhyayana shabdavat bhanepyabhanam bhanasya pratibandhena yujyate. See, when there is a music concert of the children's music concert, we go. Why do we go for a children's music concert? Only because either our son or daughter will be there, or our sisters or brothers, daughter or son will be there, right, in the children group. When we go there for this music concert, we know that the son or daughter's voice is coming. We know it is there. But we are unable to clearly see that, clearly hear it. The voice that is coming from the son or daughter is not properly heard. We know that it is there because she or he is singing, but we are unable to hear it. What is the pratibandham here? Pratibandham is the voices that is coming from other children. When the voice is coming from the other children is there, that obstructs the voice of the son or daughter. So because of that obstruction, we are unable to hear it, right? But we know that the child is singing. Sometimes we can hear also. Sometimes that sound is there. We can hear. Sometimes we cannot hear. Most of the time we don't hear because of the disturbances, or I won't call disturbance, but the voices coming from the other children is the pratibandham here, right? Another Swami gave a beautiful example. Sometimes we make this beans, some curry we make with the beans. The beans are cut into the same sizes, and green chilli also is cut into the same sizes, same size, and put along with the beans. And when the curry or bhaji is prepared, because all look same and people eat it, and when they bite the chilli, we know samsara starts. Okay, so similarly, when a group of children are singing, there, even though we hear, sometimes we hear the sound, sometimes we don't hear, but we know that there is a voice of the son or daughter, but it is not heard clearly because there is a pratibandha. The pratibandham is the voices of other children. Then, so Vidyaranya Swami gave another example. Though those times Veda chanting is very popular. So Veda chanting is there. So what Vidyaranya Swami says is Adhyetra Varga Madhyastha. Adhyetra Varga Madhyastha Putradhyayana Shabdavad. It's a one full word. The sound or the voice that is coming from the Putra, the son, among a group of Veda chanting children. Adhyetra Vargam. Adhyetra Vargam means group. Adhyetra means those who are learning Vedas. Adhyetra Varga Madhyastha, at the center. Putra Adhyayana Shabdavad. The sound, the voice that is coming from the son, Shabdavat, it is coming from there, but the voice is not coming. Bhane pyabhanam bhanasya. Abhanam. So not knowingness. Similarly, so this is this example. Similarly, bhane api. Even when Atmanandam is experienced, abhanam, not knowingness, bhanasya pratibandhana, the obstacle that obstructs the knowledge of Atmanandam, yujyate, it is okay, it happens. Vidyaranya Swami says that even when we know that Atmanandam is there, right, but still because of the pradibandham of all the Vishayas, the Anandam that is arising out of the objects of this world, but we should know that even the Ananda that is arising out of an object, which is coming from an object, is also from Atma only. So, Vishayanandam, the Anandam that is coming from an object, is also coming from Atma alone. But this fact is not known. This is unknown. So, people think that the Ananda is coming from the objects of this world. Even when we know that we love self the most, we know that Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati, right? Shruti says, Atmanastu Kamaya, it is because for the love of self only, everything else is loved. So, when it is known, but still we go after the Vishayas of the objects of this world, it is a possibility. It happens because the knowledge is not complete. Reason is Adhyetru Varga Madhyastha Putra Adhyayana Shabdavat. The voice that is coming from the sun among a group of Veda chanting is not clear. It is not heard properly. So, because the pradibandham is the voices coming from other children, right? So, here what is the Atmanandam? From this example, the Putra, the sun is Atma. The voice that is coming from the sun, Putra Dhvani, is the Atmanandam. The mind, the sense organs, and the experiences through the sense organs, etc., all the sensual pleasures or the sensual experiences, okay, pleasure or pain, all the experiences from the sense organs and the mind, they are compared to the voices of other children, and the voice coming from the sun is Atmananda. So that Atmanandam is obstructed, the pradibandham. That pradibandham is the experiences or of the sense organs and the mind. So this is the comparison. The Putra is Atma. The voice that is coming from the Putran is Atmanandam. And the voices that is coming from the other children is the Pradibandham. That is the experiences with the sense organs and the mind. This is the comparison. So it is correct that Atmanandam is known yet unknown. That is what Vidyaranya Swami proved. It is correct that Atmanandam is known yet unknown. Now, what Vidyaranya Swami says, he is defining what is Pradibandha. His definition, what is Pradibandham. Let us see. 13th verse. Pradibandhosti bhatiti vyavahararha vastuni tannirasya viruddhasya tasyotpadanamuchyate. Pradibandhosti bhatiti vyavahararha vastuni tannirasya viruddhasya tasyotpadanamuchyate. See, what is Asti Bhati? Asti exists, Bhati, it reveals, right? Asti, something is there and it is revealed. And that is our experience. Say like we see something, we see a mobile phone, mobile phone exists and we experience a mobile phone. That is Asti Bhati. It exists and they reveal. And our experiences of all the articles or all the objects in everyday use is they exist, they reveal. Now, An obstruction is that which makes this experience ineffective, which makes this experiences of astibhadi, which makes the experience of existence and revelation ineffective. That is the definition of an obstruction. What is an obstruction? An obstruction is that which makes this experience of existence and revelation, astibhadi, ineffective. And not only that, it produces a counter experience, it produces a 180-degree opposite experience, that they are not existing and they are not revealing. See, sometimes the definition is more complicated than saying clearly. Now you tell me, Vaidyuta Gamana Agamana Niyantrana Yantram. What is this? What definition? Vaidyuta Gamana Agamana Niyantrana Yantram. Switch. That we switch on, switch off, no? Fan, light and all that. That switch's definition is Vaidyuta, the electricity, Gamana coming, Gamana going, Agamana coming, Gamana Agamana Niyantrana controlling Yantram, machine. It's switch. So that is why some definitions are more complicated than clearly saying. So here I don't think it is much of a difficulty. Let us see what Vidyaranya Swami says. Asti bhati vyavahararha vastuni. And something which exists and which is known. Okay. Tat nirasya. Tat nirasya means rejecting that. Tasya viruddhasya, opposite to that, opposite to asti bhati. Exist reveals, opposite is it is non-exist and it doesn't reveal. Na asti na bhati, does not exist and not revealed. That does not exist, not known. Here we are talking about Atma. Okay. So, tasya viruddhasya utpadanam. Tasya viruddhasya utpadanam. The opposite is produced. Opposite is produced. That obstruction or that is called obstruction. Pradibandhaha uchyate. That which does not, from astibhadi, it converts into nasti nabhadi. Another example is, say, suppose, say 10 students are sitting in front of a guru taking classes. So assume that there is a chair put in front of one of the child and someone else is sitting over there, right? So the class is over. Actually the student Rama has come there. Rama is sitting there. He has attended the class. But what is revealed to the Guru? That Rama has not come. Rama did not attend the class. So even though it is asti and bhati, it is there. If the chair and the another person was not there, then asti bhati would have been known. There is asti, he is there, the Rama is there, and experience of Rama is also there. So the teacher will say, yes, asti bhati, Rama is there, Rama has come for the class. Now a chair is put in front and Gopal is sitting there. Now what is it? It shows Gopal is at the chair is obstructing the presence of Rama, and this Rama becomes nasti nabhadi. Okay, so asti bhadi becomes nasti nabhadi because of something, and that something is called pratibandha. That is the pratibandham. Okay, asti bhadi to nasti nabhadi. In Vedanta, this is called avarana vikshepa. Okay, this pratibandham has got two powers. One is avarana shakti. The other is vikshepa shakti. See, this is Panchadasi class, so little bit of logic and is required. Okay, not so difficult, but we need to think as we go. Some technical words will be used, which will be useful. Okay, so one is avarana shakti, the other is Vikshepa Shakti. So Avaranam and Vikshepam. Avaranam is which covers, Vikshepam is it shows something else. Okay, so these two are there. So the scriptures, whatever scriptures say is that the root cause of the samsara dukkham is this avarana shakti. This avarana, the obstruction, the pradibandham. What is the pradibandham here? Now we saw that among a group of children, the sound or the voice of the son is not heard properly because of the voices of other children. Similarly, the Atmanandam is not revealed because of various other experiences or various other pradibandham, okay, various other desires, spurha, etc. So the root cause is this avarana shakti. It obstructs. Okay, this pradibandham, that is the root cause of this samsara dukkham, in these problems of this world, that's all. So this avaranam is also of twofold. Two are there. One is called asadavaranam. Another is called abhana avaranam. What is asadavaranam? Asadavaranam means this body, okay, and indriyas, they etc. are they think, the asadavaranam, the thinking that this deham, indriyas etc. are atma and there is nothing other than deha indriya. There is no such thing called atma. All that is there is this deham and indriyas. This is the asadavaranam. Another is abhana avaranam. Abhana means not revealing. Atma is not revealed and not experienced. This pradibandham. One is Atma is not revealed. Remember, this voice coming from the Putra is not heard. Another is asadavaranam. Right? All the pradibandham, all the deham and indriyas alone exist. There is no such thing called Atma. And these two together is called avarana shakti. That is, the pradibandham is avaranam. Asadavaranam and abhanavaranam. Forget all that. Don't worry about these technical terms. Understand the essence of it. Okay. Now let us move to the verse number 14. Today I think we are going little faster. Tasya hetu samana bihara putradhvani shrutau ihanadiravadhyaiva vyamohaika nibandhanam. Tasya hetu samana bihara putradhvani shrutau ihanadiravidyaiva vyamohaika nibandhanam. Ihanadiravidyaiva. Iha vyamohaika nibandhanam. So tasya heduhu. Tasya samanabhiharaha heduhu. What? Putradhvani shrutau. See the hearing, okay, the voice that is coming from the putra, the son, the voice that is coming from the son, putras dhvani shrutau, in hearing, or the hearing voice of the son, tasya samanabhiharaha heduhu, is obstructed due to what? Due to the association of son's voice with so many other voices. So samanabhiharaha, together coming. The voice that is coming from the son is coming from all other voices. All are coming together. Right? If son is singing or son is chanting a mantra and others are chanting after some time, then it would have been clear. But what happens here? Samanabhiharaha heduhu. It is because all are coming together. Association with the son's voice, so many other voices are coming. Iha Vyamohaika Nibandhanam. Here the main cause for delusion is the ignorance. So now Vidyaranya Swami coming to the point that what is the hetu for this is Vyamoham. Vyamoha means delusion and ignorance which has no starting. Okay? There is no iha anadi avidya. So it is anadi avidya, the beginningless ignorance. Iha anadi avidya eva Vyamoha eka nibandhanam. That is the only the problem. Only one, and that alone is the problem. Okay? There is only one root cause for this. What is the root cause? Avidya. And that avidya is anadi. It is beginningless. There is no starting point. There is no, when we have no idea when this avidya started. Okay, ignorance. We will see all that in detail. So we at least now for the time being we know that avidya, ignorance, is the root cause of the problem. Not able to hear son's voice is because of the association with so many other voices. That is obstruction. Similarly, Atmanandam, okay, experience is obstructed due to moham, delusion, and anadi avidya, beginningless ignorance. So beginningless ignorance and moham, delusion, this is the root cause, and that is only one cause for not experiencing Atmanandam. See, already we discussed that the self, I, is the source of infinite Ananda. Right? Unconditional Ananda. All external objects are sources of limited Ananda. Right? Limited Ananda. Because the experience come and go. The moment it's not giving Ananda, because separation is inevitable and everything change is inevitable in all the objects of this world, and they come and go, they appear and they disappear. Because of that reason, that Ananda is limited. Right? External objects are limited source of Ananda. And we already said, even that limited Ananda is coming from self only, from within only. Correct? Otherwise, everyone should love ice cream. Right? It's not so, no? Some people like ice cream, some people don't like ice cream. So the happiness does not lie in ice cream. And even first ice cream is okay. Second one, third one, it reduces, right? It diminishes. The Ananda of the first time you have ice cream is not the same when we have second ice cream or third ice cream. Or take a glass of payasam. First glass is okay. Kheer. Second glass, not so much. Third glass, no. Fourth one, he will hate ice cream. He will hate that payasam. So the Ananda of the Vishaya objects does not lie on the object, but even the Ananda that is coming from the object is from self only. Okay, right. Just let us understand that. So this beginningless ignorance, avidya, is the pratibandham for Atmananda. So we will ask, how did Bhagavan put this avidya in an individual? How did God put this avidya? So Swami says, it is anadi. It does not have, ignorance is eternal. Bhagavan is not responsible for this. not only this obstructs, not only that this ignorance, this avidya, it obstructs the Atmanandam. It obstructs the Atmanandam. Not only that, it also produces Vyamoham. What is the Vyamoham? Confusion. It produces confusion regarding self and others also. It produces confusion. So, Vyamoham, this delusion, what is the delusion? What is the cause of this delusion? Is avidya, ignorance. So, the root cause is ignorance alone, avidya alone, and that avidya is the eka nibandhanam. The ignorance is the only cause, no other reasons. Okay, there are no other reasons for this samsara dukkham. See how this happens, See, an alcoholic, alcoholic or a drug addict, they behave differently. So the alcohol is like an avidya or the drug is like an avidya. That individual forgets his role. Just take this example only. Forgets his role and behaves differently. So normally an individual without alcohol behaves nicely, right? Love and care, etc. But the moment that individual has alcohol, he starts beating others, beating people, using abusive words, etc. Right? So the root cause is the alcohol only, and that causes a lot of delusion. That causes moham and confuses his brains, and he or she behaves differently than naturally. Okay, so like that, because of avidya, it produces a confusion, and the samsara dukkha starts for the individual. So everyone, all of us is intoxicated with this ajnanam, this ignorance, and forgets our true nature. What is the true nature? I am that self which is of the nature of Satchidananda is forgotten. Because of that forgetfulness, we fall into the delusion and confusion happens. We get attached to the things and we start acquiring things and hold on to them for our happiness. Okay, so this is the samsaram and the associated dukkham. So then what is the remedy for this? The only and only remedy is this avidya must be removed. So this avidya must be flushed out of the system. This ignorance should be removed. Samsara is and associated dukkham will continue unless and until this avidya is not removed. So avidya must be removed. If this avidya is not removed, even when someone dies normal death or any suicide or even pralaya, it will not solve the problem of birth and death. Okay, the samsara is what? This only. Being born, again dies, again will be born, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jadare shayanam. So this cycle of birth and death, which is we call it samsara, will never be removed through a normal death or unnatural death or during pralaya, because it is anadi. This avidya must be removed. That is the only solution. So it is the only solution is avidya must be removed. Right? So this avidya, which is beginningless, it is anadi. So it cannot die naturally also. So the avidya cannot have a natural death. Understand? avidya will have to be destroyed. Avidya will not have a natural death, is not possible. What I mean is, without, how can this avidya can be removed? Only through knowledge. Knowledge alone can remove the ignorance. So without having knowledge, if someone thinks that naturally this avidya will be removed and we will have moksham, we will be liberated, will not happen. So this avidya, this ignorance must be removed. It has to be destroyed. Okay? Natural death is possible. What I mean is, suppose somebody is doing karma and goes on living in this world, having a lot of good deeds, bad deeds, etc. If someone is doing a lot of good karma, also will be bondage, and there will be life after, maybe a better life, but still life will be there. Okay, unless this ignorance is not removed. So being good also is not sufficient qualification to end up this samsara and having moksham. This knowledge should remove. Through knowledge, this avidya should be removed. Ignorance must be destroyed. Okay, that is the only solution. So we have to know this avidya. Unless ignorance is removed, no liberation, no moksham is possible. In one of the Upanishad says, I forgot the verse, that the samsara dukkham, we can get rid of the samsara dukkham without atma jnanam. There is a possibility. Without atma jnanam or without jnanam, which removes the ignorance, there is a possibility we can get rid of the samsara dukkham. What we have to do is, when we look up, we see the sky like a carpet, right? Like a dome or like a carpet we can see. If someone can roll this carpet from one end to the other, if that is possible, then this samsara dukkham can be removed without atma jnana. So it is impossible, because there is no carpet only there. Then how can you roll it? So indirectly the Shruti says that it is impossible to have this dukkham removed or have moksham without atma jnanam. That is same thing here also. Vidyaranya Swami says this must be removed. Now let us move to the 15th verse. Chidanandamaya brahma pratibimba samanvita tamo rajas sattva guna prakritir dvividha chasa. Chidanandamaya brahma pratibimba samanvita tamo rajas sattva guna prakritir dvividha chasa. Now, so Vidyaranya Swami first explained about consciousness, existence and ananda, and the self is of that nature, Satchidananda, and it is the same as Brahman. So that means the self is Brahman, right? And then why everyone is not experiencing this unconditional ananda? It is because of a pradibandham. What is the pradibandham? Pradibandham cornered to ignorance, avidya, right? Avidya, I mean not knowing that I am that self. That is avidya. Now, what is the root cause of what is the avidya? That is slowly Vidyaranya Swami is entering to analyze this. Okay, so let us see. Prakriti. Okay, Prakriti is the primordial substance. The technical word which is even subtler than the energy. See, what is the subtle form of matter? The matter is energy, right? Everyone knows, even science has proved E is equal to mc squared. So, energy is the subtle form of matter. Vidyaranya Swami says is that this Prakriti is the subtler than the energy. Okay, Prakriti is even subtler than the energy, and then Chidanandamaya Brahma. Chidanandamaya means this consciousness bliss, or this Chidananda or this Chinmaya Brahma. This Chinmaya Brahman, this Brahman, Pratibimba Samanvita, Tamo Rajas Sattva Guna Prakritir Dvividha Chasa. Means what? This Prakriti which is even subtler than the energy is composed of, the Prakriti is composed of three gunas. Sattva, Raja, Tamo gunas. Sattva gunam, Rajo gunam and Tamo gunam. Okay. And this Prakriti, which is Sattva, Rajas, Tamo gunas, they are the subtlemost form of matter. Okay, it is the form of matter. See, normally when we hear Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunas, etc., what we generally think is that it is a attribute or a quality given to a Prakriti. A quality that is given. But we have to understand one thing is that it is not just the quality, it is made of that. Okay, it is made up of that. I will just read a commentary where you will get a clear picture. I don't know where it is, I just missed. Okay, somewhere I read it. Okay, forget it. So, let us understand that this Prakriti is composed of Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunaha. This is the subtlemost form of matter. So, energy is the subtlemost form of matter which everyone knows. Even the Prakriti is the subtler than the energy. And that Prakriti is composed of Sattva, Rajas, Tamo Gunas. So, in this Trigunas, we call it Trigunas, Sattva Guna Pradhanam. Okay, Sattva Guna Pradhanam, Rajo Guna Pradhanam. This is the two Dvividhaha here. Vidyaranya Swami said this Prakriti Dvividha Chasa. Sa Dvividha. Tamo Guna he will explain later. For the time being, let us take Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti. Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti is, what is Sattva Guna? Sattva Guna is the thinking faculty, okay, the intellectual faculty, the experiencing faculty, seeing, smelling, tasting, okay, all the jnanendriyas which are functioning is Sattva Guna Pradhana. Okay, they are the Sattva Guna. It is the Sattva Guna Pradhana. Sattvat Sanjayade Jnanam, Bhagavad Gita, right? So, it is the Jnana Shakti. Okay, Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti. Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti is the Jnana Shakti or understanding things, thinking, seeing, smelling, etc. And what is the Rajo Guna Prakriti? Rajogunam is the doing faculty. Okay, all the karmendriyas, walking, doing, speaking, all of that, karmendriyas, whatever the karmendriyas, doing all sorts of actions that we do, they all come from the Rajogunam. So Rajogunam, it's a Kriya Shakti. So this Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti and Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti, these are the two Dvividha Prakriti Vidyaranya Swami is introducing here. So in this, the Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti and the Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti, these two Prakritis are capable of reflecting the consciousness. They are capable of, they are Jada only, they are matter. Okay, even Sattva-guna Pradhana Prakriti also is matter. Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti also is matter. But the Brahman, Chidanandamaya Brahma, can reflect on it. Okay, it can reflect on this Sattva-guna Pradhana Prakriti and Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti. Samanvita means it is endowed with Brahman. So Chidanandamaya can reflect, that is the Brahman, this consciousness. Don't forget, we are talking about consciousness is the same that you, me experiences all times, even during waking state, dream state and deep sleep state. That samvit, that consciousness which we are experiencing at all times, is reflecting in the media. What is the medium here? Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti and Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti. So even though this Prakriti is inert in nature, it is capable of manifesting consciousness. Means this Brahman can express through these Prakriti. Okay, and what are these two? When it is expressing through Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti, Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti, etc., what are these two? It is the Maya. When it is reflecting on a Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti, it is the Maya. And when it reflects through a Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti, then it is Avidya. So the Pradibimbam, the reflection in Sattva Gunam is Maya. Not the reflection when it associates with Sattva Guna Pradhanam, we call it Maya. Okay, and that reflected consciousness, that consciousness which reflects in the Sattva Gunam, is Ishvara, Bhagavan, God, that we say, Ishvara. Okay, and the reflected consciousness which reflects in the Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti is Avidya. So one is Shuddha Sattva, the other one is Malina Sattvam, and that is the Avidya, that is called Jiva. So the reflected consciousness that reflects in Avidya, that is the Malina Prakriti. Okay, Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti, which is Avidya, Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti, which is Maya. Okay, so again, Sattva Guna Pradhana Prakriti, which is Shuddha Sattvam, that is called Maya. Rajoguna Pradhana Prakriti is the Avidya. When the same Brahman reflects in Maya, is called Ishvara. When the same Brahman reflects on Avidya, is Jiva. Okay. So we will explain this this verse from 15th verse again in our next class. Okay. So because I rushed too much, we will explain. We will start from the 15th verse in our next class. Okay. No problem. If there is any confusion, we will clear it. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ हरिः ॐ तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु।